channel today is very special because I'm going to be uploading a 100 subscriber special in which I'm going to be actually explaining a trick that I've performed on this channel, my most viewed video on the channel, which was the Untitled mathematical card trick. I'm going to be explaining that trick today. I know I don't really post tutorials on here as I'm not really meant to, but this trick I'm going to reveal just because I've hit 100 subscribers and I want you guys to get something out of it. So yeah, with all that said, I will explain how that trick works now. So if you've forgotten how that mathematical trick looked or you don't remember the performance, I will leave a link to the original video in the description, so you go check that out and refresh your memories, and then come back and I will show you how that trick is done. It's a very basic trick, but I've just adapted it slightly to make it more fooling, so I'll see what you guys think once you've learned how to do it. So all you need is a regular deck of cards, and the cards can be shuffled as you saw in the performance. So as you can see, the cards can be mixed up, and then basically we do need the card box. So you will be spreading the cards out and you can show the cards I've shuffled, and essentially what you're going to be doing is removing a prediction. Now your prediction is going to be the soulmate of the card in the 19th card from the face of the deck. Now this may seem like a very complicated thing to achieve here, but it's very simple, because all you're going to do is spread through the cards from the face, and you're going to be spreading through in groups of threes, and you're just going to be counting to the number 18, so that's 6 groups of threes. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take a look at the next card, which is the Ace of Clubs in our case, and you're going to be just removing the soulmate of the Ace of Clubs in this case. Okay, so we spread through the cards, and then we remove the soulmate, which is of course the Ace of Spades, and you can place it down. Now in the case that your soulmate, let's say, is in the bank of 18 cards, because we need the Ace of Clubs to remain in the 19th position in the deck. So let's say we were to spread through the cards now. Let's remove a card just there, just so we get a basic idea of what we're doing here. So I've just reset the deck, and let's say we spread through the cards now. We go 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19. We see our 19th card is the Ace of Clubs, but we also realize that our soulmate is in this bank here. So all you're going to do in this case is up jog the next card, which is the 2 of Spades in this case, and pretend you can't decide which prediction you're going to take out. And you just up jog the 2 cards here. So I've got the 2 of Spades, which is the card below, directly below or above, depending on which way you look at the deck, but in this case it's below the Ace of Clubs, our 19th card, and the Ace of Spades. And all you're going to do is strip these 2 cards out, place them on the face of the deck, and then say and then just go with the Ace of Spades. Okay, and then in that, what you've done is just displaced 1 card, so that your Ace of Clubs or key card is staying in the 19th position. Okay, so once you've done that, you can place this into the card box, and now you're going to give the deck to the 3 spectators. It's best if you have 3 spectators, but you can just do it to 2 if you want. But yeah, all you're going to do is cut off a third of the cards, hand them to spectator number 1. Then you're going to cut off another third of the cards and hand them to spectator number 2. And then you're going to do something slightly different for spectator number 3. You're going to swing cut a small portion of cards off the top into your left hand, or whatever hand you use, and then hand the bottom section of the deck to spectator number 3. Okay, and what that does is that will allow you to maintain your Ace of Clubs or whatever key cards you have in your example with your deck. So I've still got my Ace of Clubs here, and the way we collect all the packets later on is going to still leave our Ace of Clubs in the 19th, or in whatever position we need it to be once the process and method has been completed. Okay, so what I do is I explain to the spectators that I want them to shuffle the cards. Now what I do as I'm doing this is I do a Charlier shuffle, which is basically a variation of a Charlier cut, but it's basically disguised as a shuffle. It's a false shuffle, and all you're going to do is spread off some cards from the top, and then bring your left hand up, and then spread some cards from the bottom onto the top. That's what you would do in a regular Charlier shuffle, but I slightly adapt it in that I out jog or in jog the bottom card it doesn't matter what the card is, but I'm just going to outjog the bottom card here of the packet, and then I'm going to spread off more cards so they're not outjogged, and then I'm going to bring my card back to the bottom, spread some more cards from the top to the bottom, and then place the rest on top. And you can do this with all the cards that you have, and it's not going to mess up the order because you've got this outjogged card here. And then you're just going to square up the cards, and you're going to, because you've got a break with your pinky here, all you're going to do is just square up the cards at that break, and you're going to keep your pinky break there. And then you explain to the spectators that you want them to give the cards a cut wherever they like, and you're just going to cut at that break. And I remember that my 8 of diamonds was the card that I outjogged earlier, so I know that the packet has been reset and everything, and the order of nothing has been changed. Okay, so that seems a bit complicated, but once you get the hang of it, it's very simple to do. It's just a basic Charlier shuffle and false cut, and at full speed it looks a bit like this. Okay, so we give a bit of a mix up just like this, and then we give the cards a bit of a cut. Okay, and that's changed absolutely nothing. So now the spectators will be explained. What will be explained? We'll explain to the spectators what we want them to do. Is we want them to give the cards a cut, which we've done now, and take the top card of the packet, and then they can do this behind their backs. I always like to do it behind their backs, but they can do it in front of them. It doesn't matter if we see the cards, but I like to leave it behind their backs for a bit more suspense. And they can, you instruct them to just place it in the middle of the packet. Now the reason we do this here in our example is because we actually need to displace one card from the top of the packet and place it on the bottom. This is so when we do the final dealing of the final number at the end, we actually do arrive at the predicted card. Okay, so we just take it and then just place it back on the bottom after the demonstration. Okay, so once we've done that, the spectators have completely free will to shuffle their packets as much as they like, and then they can give the cards a cut, and they can do this all behind their back, as I said, and they can turn over a card and place it into the middle of the pack face up, and they all do this, so it doesn't really matter the order of these cards. They can do whatever they want with them basically. So they all shuffle, they all give the cards a cut, and they all reverse one card face up in the middle of the packs. Okay, so they all do that, and then I ask them, then I tell them we're all going to collect the packets in any order. Now the order doesn't really matter. The only thing is that the spectator free packet needs to go back on the bottom of the deck. Okay, and then spectator 1 and 2s, they can be collected in any order, but they go back on top of the deck. Okay, so it's very important that you keep track of who's got which packet. This is why I usually have 3 spectators sat like this in front of me, so that I'm able to keep track of who's got which packet. Okay, so the spectators can ask for their packets to be collected in any order as long as I remember which packet goes where. So if spectator 3 wants to go first, I just pick up the packet and slide it to the bottom of the packet. But if spectator 2 wants to go first, I just pick it up and it goes on top. And spectator 1 wants to go next, that's fine, and then I just drop the rest on top of spectator 3. No one's going to question anything at this point. It all seems totally fair. When I spread the cards, we see we have 3 reversed cards, a 6, a jack, and a 9. Now, at this point, you do explain to the spectator that you need to sacrifice some cards to the gods. That's my explanation. I just like it to be a bit wacky because there's no real explanation for it. There's no reason to do it. So if there's no reason to do anything in a card trick other than for the method, then I like to make it a silly reason because they're not going to question it then. That's my basic explanation for why I say this. So you say the higher the card, the less cards we need to sacrifice to the gods. So for example, at 9 we only need to sacrifice 1 card, and you just take it out from the top of the deck and you place the 9 on top, and you just do this for the rest of the cards. And for the jack, you don't need to sacrifice anything. So for 10s, jacks, queens and kings, you don't need to sacrifice anything, and for ace to 9s you need to sacrifice the corresponding number of cards to make their value equal to 10. So 9 plus 1 is 10, you explain to the spectator, and then we've got the final card is a 6, so we only need to sacrifice 4 cards to make its value equal to 10. So we take them out and place the 6 on top, and now at this point you are completely set to go because now the force card that you put into the position earlier on at the start of the trick should be in the number that these cards add up to. So you got 9 plus 10, so jacks, queens and kings will all be equal to 10, so it's 9 plus 10 is 19, plus 6 is 25. So all you're going to do now is count down to 25, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and the 25th card should be your force card. In my case it's the Ace of Clubs, and then you can reveal to the spectator that the card in the box just so happens to be the matching soulmate, and that is a pretty impossible miracle with cards. And it is really unexplainable, but I've just added the shuffling and the cutting process to make it more deceptive. So hopefully you enjoyed learning how to perform that mathematical card trick, and if you did, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, turn on the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload, and with all that said, I shall see you in the next one. Goodbye.